Next up, we've got Group C, which features England, Slovenia, Serbia, and Denmark. Slovenia and Denmark were actually in the same qualifying group together, where they both finished level on points. However, Denmark beat Slovenia at home and drew them away, winning the head-to-head tiebreaker. I think Denmark unfortunately made some selection issues with their squad, though. The likes of Philip Billing, who plays regularly at Bournemouth, or Matt O'Reilly, who's been killing it in Celtic, not getting into this team is somewhat of a tragedy. Meanwhile, you've got older 30-year-old guys like Thomas Delaney, who I think are well past their prime. You've got guys like Philip Billing, who plays regularly for Bournemouth, or Matt O'Reilly, who's absolutely killing it in Celtic. I mean, I don't know why he's not getting called up. Maybe Denmark's coach thinks he's Irish or what. I'm not really sure what's going on there. But I think both these guys are better options than a 32-year-old over-the-hill Thomas Delaney. And then you've got Slovenia, who has a rather interesting team. They've got a really, really quality option in goal in Jan Oblak and up top in Benjamin Sesko. Combine that with a super sub in Ilicic, who despite being 36 years old oozes class, as we saw with his solo goal against Armenia. I think this Slovenia team can cause some damage. They've also beaten the United States and Portugal in 2024, adding to an impressive resume. As a result, despite Denmark being the favorites here, I think Slovenia hold them to a 1-1 draw.
They played each other in the qualifiers to this Euro. Denmark won 2-1 at home, and there was a draw in Slovenia 1-1. Without home-like fan support, I don't think that Denmark, which drew Switzerland recently, will be able to beat Slovenia that won against Portugal in March. I think it will be a repeat of a recent result, 1-1.
Moving on, we've got Serbia versus England. England are by far the best team in the group. They've got a world-class squad, and their vulnerabilities, such as their left-back position, will probably not be exploited in this group. And then you got Serbia. Serbia have a wealth of talent, such as Tadic, Milinkovic-Savic, Vlahovic, and more. However, since the beginning of the Euro cycle, they've played 4 games against teams currently in the Euros, and they've lost all 4, those being Austria, Hungary twice, and Belgium. They've shown an inability to beat top teams. Furthermore, the Serbia team is known to have a leaky defense. All of these combined with their untrustworthy football association makes me want to stay away from Serbia. I think England wins this one relatively handily, 4-1.
England has the most expensive squad in the Euros, and it is 5 times more expensive than Serbia's lineup. These teams haven't faced each other before, but I don't think it will be a problem for England. I predict it to be a 1-2 loss for Serbia. It won't be a close game, but I don't think that England will be able to show full power or capitalize on all chances in their first game, thanks in part to Serbia's defense.
I think Serbia versus Slovenia is going to be an interesting game. However, once again, I can't trust Serbia. I think Slovenia takes this 2-1.
So far, there is a parity as a result of 4 games played between Slovenia and Serbia. Each team had a win and 2 draws happened. Both teams currently look solid, so I think this game will end in a draw, 1-1.
And then we've got Denmark versus England. Denmark's actually had a reputation for playing a lot of these higher level teams pretty well. And in the 2020 Euros, they went all the way to the semifinals before losing to England 2-1. I think history repeats itself here, and England wins 2-1 yet again.
Denmark has a good quality team, but England's team is insane, especially their midfield and attack, to which I don't think that Denmark will be able to find an answer. 3-1, England wins second game in a row.
Between Serbia and Denmark, I think Serbia is going to hold Denmark to a draw here, 2-2. Because of their inability to defend very well, I think Serbia will get goals here, but they will also leak goals, which is going to lead to a 2-2 draw. I also think that team is just way too talented not to get a single point in this tournament.
2 good teams of a similar level. Each will be seeking a win in this game to secure the second place. I expect a fun, or at least a high-scoring game, that will end in a 2-2 draw.
Between England and Slovenia, I don't think there's much of a battle here. I think England wins pretty handily again. Let's say 3-1, but the game itself won't be very close.
Slovenia has a very talented new generation of players, led by their striker Šeško, and an experienced line of defense led by Oblak in goal. But I don't think that they will be able to stop England, which will be closer to its best form towards the end of the group stage. 2-0, a clean sheet for Pickford.
At the end of a third match day, we are left with England in first place on 9 points, Slovenia in second on 4, and getting out of a group. And third, we got Denmark with a disappointing campaign with only 2 points, and Serbia in fourth with just a single point.
Based on my predictions, the situation in Group C would be very interesting. England will finish first with 9 points, but the other 3 teams will have 2 points each. That is the place where tiebreakers will come in handy. According to them, Serbia will finish second in this group. They'll have the better goal difference. Denmark would top Slovenia based on the amount of goals scored, as Denmark would score 1 more goal than Slovenia in the group stage. That would mean Denmark would be third and would go through to the playoffs as one of the top 4 teams that finished third in their groups. And Slovenia will finish fourth and will go home despite having the same number of points as Serbia, which would be second, and would go to playoffs.